Hello, everybody. Welcome. Alrighty. In my left, an apple cider slushie.
I'm South Illinois. This is where Groundhog Day starring Bill Murray was shot, so keep that in mind.
With produce.
And you can find farmer's market with a statue of a guy on a Tyrannosaurus Rex. My fellow agrarians, today we're launching a new segment on the Intellectual Agrarian called Tea Time, a show where I answer and explain a concept or idea that's come up in either an article we've written or a podcast interview we've conducted. If you would like to submit a topic for us to discuss on Tea Time, email us at show@intellectualagrarian.com. Now for this first episode, we're going to answer a question that many of you have had, that I've gotten multiple questions on. What is an intellectual agrarian? Well, it's the name of our show. But why is it the name of our show, rather than something easier to pronounce like the Smarter Farmer? An agrarian is the difficult part to define, so let's start with intellectual. An intellectual is someone who applies ideas and works with ideas in their practical applications in the real world. Agrarian comes from the Latin root word ager, which means field. Therefore, an agrarian is a person or people from the field. Much like Boston has Bostonians, libraries have librarians, and Mars has Matt Damon. That's a joke that lands really well if you've seen The Martian. If you haven't, you should. It's a great movie. There is also a secondary definition to agrarian, which is relating to a social system upon which agriculture is a sustaining foundation. In that context, we can say that feudal Europe was an agrarian society, because agriculture was the basis and backbone of the entire economy. There has, in recent years, however, become a more philosophical meaning to the word agrarian, coming from the idea of agrarianism, popularized by the works of Wendell Berry and M. Thomas Inge. In agrarianism, the basic tenets are that farming offers self-sufficiency and independence, that the farmer and the food he raises is the bedrock of modern society, and lastly, that the cultivation of the soil and the raising of livestock offers a truer perspective on life, God, and the caring and nurturing of creation. The idea of the intellectual agrarian is not a new one with me. I was introduced to it first through the work of Mr. Joel Salatin, who in and of himself is an ideal example of what makes an intellectual agrarian. He, however, points backwards to one of the American originals, one of the first agrarian intellectuals, Mr. Thomas Jefferson. Jefferson, third president of the United States, accomplished diplomat, writer of the Declaration of Independence, would count among his first titles that of farmer. On his large plantation, and yes, slavery. He had slaves. We acknowledge that. We move forward. If you want an apologetic on slavery, please read any of the biographies written on any of the founding fathers since the Civil Rights Movement. His plantation, Monticello, was where he conducted many different experiments and innovations on agriculture. And anytime he went to Europe on a diplomatic mission, he would look for what the latest innovations were and try to take it back with him to Virginia and experiment it with his own soil. You'll notice that many of the guests we have on the show aren't all farmers, but they all have a single through line. Each and every one of them that come on the show offer an agrarian idea to the audience. An idea that most urbanites and many who even live in the rural districts haven't heard before. And so we invite you to continue listening to the podcast, continue watching these videos, and learn how an agrarian idea can be applied to your own life. And so I ask that together, let's keep farming the dream. Once again, this is Terrence Lehue. This has been Tea Time, a new segment on the Intellectual Agrarian. And if you want to submit a topic for us to discuss, please email us at show@intellectualagrarian.com.